Hello, Sagittarius. Elsie here with a bonus read. How are you, Sag? I hope you're well. My fire family, I hope you're doing great. I am here to just throw some cards for you in a bonus read and see what comes out. Whatever comes out, my friend. Let's find out what's going on for you, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. And don't forget, private reads are on. So look in the pinned comment if you would like to head over to Hypsee. Take a look at my pricing, $25, and it goes up from there. Tell me what's going on for Sagittarius in this bonus read. My intention is for it to be for today or forward. I don't intend to read for anything back there, but, it's not up to me. I just work here. Let's find out what's going on with Sag. We've got the Hanged Man. Tell me what else is going on here. Why are we in a pause? It's a thoughtful pause. You know what? There's something here that's yet to be revealed. So if life feels like it's on pause, or you are in pause, or you haven't heard from someone, it feels like that the sun is about to come out. It feels like something's about to be revealed. It could be a perspective. It could be the reason why everything's been in a pause. It feels like there's about to be some sort of a breakthrough, like an aha moment, after some sort of a long pause. Maybe this has been paused or on pause since the beginning of Pisces season. Could be. Tell me more. Oh, the Three of Swords is here. Okay, before I give you more information, I'm just going to keep dealing here. We've got, the Tower is here. Interesting. There's a surprising reveal. That's what it feels like. Sag, there's a surprising reveal coming here. And tell me why the Three of Swords is here then. It's the King of Pentacles. One more card. I think that you've been worrying about money. But I think there's about to be a surprising reveal here. You're about to celebrate some sort of financial thing. Okay, let's just break it down. So the King of Pentacles has more than they need, so they're able to share. But the King of Pentacles is also someone who is, stable, enduring, loyal. This person moves really slow. They're very good with money. They could be a financer. This could be someone who's at the bank, but it could also be part of your energy as well. If you're someone who, it does feel like that you are building something. So if you're a person who's in business for yourself, or you just started a business, or you've been struggling in business, I feel like you've been worrying about money or worrying about your stability. I feel like that is what this reading is probably about. Something here is about to surprise you and give you and reveal something, like a surprise is about to be revealed. It feels like either your business has been in a pause or your money has been strained. It feels like it's because it's all on you. I'm going to say there's nobody here helping you with anything. It feels like it's all on you. You're carrying it all, but listen, Sag, I feel like you're looking really good carrying it all. So whatever it is that you're carrying, I think it's everything. I think it might be a business. I think it's like reputation. It feels like it is like you're doing it single. You might be a single parent, a single dad, or a single mom. It feels like you're carrying it all, but look, your 10 Pentacles are coming. It feels like something is about to, it's like a surprise reveal that is going to be celebrated here. It could be a reunion with somebody. The Fool is here. It could be a reunion with a Taurus, a Scorpio, maybe a Leo or a Pisces. But it does feel like that something's been in a pause, and maybe since Pisces season, but just saying that because the Hanged Man is here. Could have been Leo season last year as well. Hang on. Okay. There we go. Threw a bunch of cards over my shoulder. There's too many to ignore. All right, let's talk about the sun, because something is about to be revealed here, or there's about to be some sort of a breakthrough in perspective here. Tell me about the sun. It does feel like something shifts quickly and you don't expect it. And I think it's going to help you with, it's going to alleviate some pressure that you've been carrying, because I feel like you've been carrying a lot of stuff on your own here, friend. Tell me about the sun. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. I'm telling you, it feels like a new job, or it feels like somebody notices how hard you're working. It could be that somebody notices how hard you're working, not only maybe at your workplace, but also Like maybe you're working at your workplace, you're trying to build a business on the side. Maybe your business is about to get very busy. We've got the Queen of Swords. And we've got the Ten of Wands. Sag, do you speak for a living? Because it feels like if you're not the person who speaks for a living, it feels like you give financial advice, or that you give other people advice on their life or how to proceed with things one step after the next step after the next step. It almost feels like coaching. So I would say with the Eight of Pentacles, because you're very clear on every step that needs to be taken. And I feel that because I'm looking at this Eight of Pentacles here, and this person is doing needlepoint. Now, for anybody who's ever done needlepoint, you know what a tedious job that is, because sometimes you're dealing in this tiniest, like silk threads, and it takes a very long time. So it feels like there's something here that requires your eye for detail, but not only your eye for detail, it's almost like you're picking things out of a pile that other people didn't see. So it feels like, because this is Virgo energy, and Virgo doesn't miss a damn thing, right? So it almost feels like with this Queen of Swords energy here, that you are a person who has a great eye for detail, but not only do you have a great eye for detail, you actually talk about it. And I feel like this is something that's really weighed heavy on you for a very long time, Sag, that you're a person, look, I know all about Sag energy. Okay, I'm Sag rising. And just look, I'm saying this in the kindest and loveliest way. Sometimes you tend to put your foot in your mouth because it'll just boom, right? It'll just shoot out, and sometimes you can't like put the toothpaste back in the tube. But I'm just going to say, everything that you say with integrity, or you say in honesty. Like, it's not like you're just shooting people with your words. That's not what you're doing. But I think that sometimes that weighs a little heavy on you, that you see like the tiniest thing that makes the biggest, how can I say it? What am I trying to say, Charlie? Okay, I'll tell you what I'm looking at. What Charlie is showing me is showing me a stained glass window in a church. And as I get closer to the stained glass window in the church in my mind's eye, I see little cracks in the glass. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not going to hold. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I've got to tell somebody that there's cracks in the glass, and somebody's going to get really offended by me picking out the cracks in the glass. It's like people are going to see me as being a nitpicker. But I have to tell somebody, because somebody could get hurt. That whole piece could just cave in and somebody could get hurt. So that's the Queen of Swords energy, is whether you like me or not, I'm going to tell you that I see a hairline fracture or a hairline crack, and everything could cave in if I don't tell you about it. But you're going to be so offended when I come at you and say, that's a little bit of shoddy work. That's what the person's going to hear. That looks like shoddy work. But I feel like this is your lot in life. You're a person with an eye for detail that speaks it out loud, and this, I feel, is a bit of a burden for you. But I feel like the sun is revealing, and what it's revealing is the truth that, yes, maybe the next day the stained glass does cave in. Do you know what I mean? So you're not saying it just to be mean. You're saying it to be helpful, truthful. But the Queen of Swords tends to be rather intimidating, right, in their delivery, because they're very frank and very surgical. Okay, anyways, let's talk. I don't know what all that was about, but let's talk about the Three of Swords. Okay. I feel like somebody here has been worrying about money, and I don't think you've been telling everybody or anybody, actually. I think that you're just hoping it's going to get better in the future. You're hoping that some of this pressure is going to alleviate itself, but I think that it really is putting some sort of emotional pressure on you. It's like you're in some sort of pressure cooker here, and that there is frustration or disappointment with not getting further in life, or not my business isn't building fast enough. Oh, look, I'll tell you that. Look, my business is built so slow. It's built over 10 years, what most people accomplish in 3. But now I see why. Now I understand why. So I feel like there's a frustration here that you've had to keep it to yourself, or that you have no one to share it with, because it's all on you. It's like it's all on you, right? You're carrying it all, and it's painful and terrible and awful. And I feel like you're waiting for things to change in the future. I feel like you might have to take action before that, but okay, let's talk about the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man energy here, please. What is in pause right now? Because I feel like this Tower and the Sun are going to shift together, which is an awakening, and it feels like it's going to be surprising. You're not expecting it. You're not expecting to be pushed out of this pause. I think that you think that things are on a permanent pause. So we have the Seven of Pentacles. Look, I really do feel that you need to be patient. And I'm sorry to have to tell you that, but I think that if you're patient, that you'll see that there's no other way around it. It feels like you have planted the right seeds. You've thrown your seeds of intention. So you have an intention. You've planted them in soil that is viable. I feel like you've done all the right things, Sag, is what I want to say. You've done all the right things, and I just think that you are being or feeling a little bit impatient because I think it's taking longer for you than everybody else. Like, I think it's legit taking longer for you, and so you feel like life is in a pause right now. So should I just sacrifice all of this work that I've done to grow something here, or should I just keep putting my hard effort, putting my nose to the grindstone and working really hard on this? I feel like you just wish that somebody would come along to help you because the Six of Pentacles is here. I really wish that somebody would show up to give me reciprocal energy, time, effort, energy, money, whatever it is, and even the scales for me. We've got the King of Swords. I really do feel there is somebody who is going to notice you, say something. This King of Swords is somebody who has wisdom, and they've all mastered something. This King of Swords is somebody who could be an Aquarius. They could be an Aquarius, Gemini, or a Libra. Highly intelligent, right? It's not that the other signs are not highly intelligent, but, you know, the swords people, we'll call them Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, they have eye for detail. They're overthinkers. See, I feel like you might have like a Libra, a Gemini, or an Aquarius placement of some sort. And although you have maybe also an Earth placement, it feels like sometimes your words end up being a little bit sharp. But I feel like this person understands you. The King of Swords is somebody who I feel shows up with the sword to cut you out of the tree. I feel like, you know, like, I don't know why my brain thinks that way. It's just weird like that. Could be my Aquarius in my, what is it, my third house, I guess. The way I understand things is a little bit out of the box. But to me, you're hanging in the tree, right? Everything's in a pause. You're hanging in a tree. And when you're hanging there saying, like, yeah, when I come to enlightenment or my perspective becomes clear, then I'm going to get out of the tree. But how do you get out of the tree? You got to cut yourself down. You're going to fall on your head, right? So I feel like it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. But I feel like this King of Swords, and listen, they don't have to be an air sign. They could be somebody who is another sign, but has air in the chart, or somebody who's just really very much about speaking their truth without sugarcoating it. This person might say to you, look, you're not doing that the right way. Or that should be too, like, your potatoes shouldn't be planted beside your onions. Or, you know what I mean? It feels like this person like shakes you awake or wakes you up or something. I feel shifts quickly. And all of a sudden you're not doing this alone anymore. Tell me about Scorpio here. This Scorpio energy in Mars. Oh, yes, Mars. Yes, Mars, I think, just showed up in Aries, right? Distractions, the breaking down of things so you can see things clearer. We got the Four of Pentacles. We've got the Chariot. And we have the Temperance card. Look, I feel like a moment out of alchemy is coming where everything makes a huge push forward. I think that by not telling other people that it causes a tower. Like, it feels like it causes a tower, but I'm going to say that in this tower energy, this person shows up to give you a little bit more clarity. This person speaks your language, I would say, because Queen and King of Swords, right? I feel like you're a person who speaks in swords, so you speak in truth. You're like, I'm just going to tell you this. There's a crack in your work that maybe you didn't notice, and somebody might take offense to that, whereas the King would say, yeah, that crack is big. And if they don't take care of that in the next 8 days, and we get rain and then it freezes and then we get rain again and then it freezes, well, that whole thing's going to come tumbling in. This is the one that's got all the details. So I feel like somebody here is showing up to give you reciprocal energy, but not in the way that you think. I think when they first show up, they're probably going to feel like they're criticizing you and saying, no, you shouldn't do it that way. And I feel like that's going to be the big shift for you. That's going to be the surprising shift that brings some sort of realization or reveals something to you. And I feel like although you've been carrying around this burden of being too honest with people. You super appreciate this person because they are somebody who is, metal sharpens metal. Isn't that what they say? Steel sharpens steel. That's what I feel like it is between these two people. So I don't know if you know this person or not, but they're about to show up and show you maybe a better way for you to do it. I think that you take it well because you're showing up as the Queen of Swords energy here. We've got the King of Pentacles. Yeah, and then the money comes pouring in. Look at this. It feels like, and then with this one tweak, it feels like this person might be somebody like with one tweak. It all of a sudden the money comes flowing in. It's like the dam breaks and the money comes flowing in because the Knight of Wands is moving fast, is very brave. Maybe you make the decision to make that tweak and it changes everything. It's like something is going to enlighten you that's going to change everything. It's going to shift everything. And then all of a sudden you will see the value in what you do because this person was able to get you out of your pause. So now I think that you're going to realize what real value you bring to people instead of saying, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh my God, that came flying out of my mouth. I think you're going to realize what value you truly are, even though I think it's going to teach you how to let go of what you've been carrying around. Look, we have the Six of Cups. You might know this person. You might know them or feel like you know them, but they might be teaching you something that they learned as a child. I feel like it feels like there is change. It's destined change. And it's a very big change in your money, your time, your effort, your career, your money, your health, possibly. Somebody here who knows more than you is going to tell you. I love this Aquarius energy. I love Aquarian energy because look, Aquarius does not have the best delivery, like really hard delivery. But I tell you what, I've learned some of my hardest, but most clear lessons from an Aquarius. I know this is Sag reading. I'm just saying I go on about it because you could have an Aquarius placement or this person could be sharp, straightforward, and just blurt it out like an Aquarius. Tell me about why you've been carrying it all alone here because I feel like you make it look good carrying it alone. And I feel like you are about to break through some sort of glass ceiling you thought was in place, which means I feel like you kept going, why can't I get past this part? Why can't I get past this part? I keep doing what I've been doing all along and it's not working anymore. We've got the World card in the reverse. Look at this. We got the Ace of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. So I think there's some unfinished business. And I think this dude shows up, or this person, this woman, this guy, this whoever it is, shows up to give you clarity or maybe sign you to a contract or have a conversation with you about why you feel like you might be low on money or low on clients or feeling disconnected from what it is that you're doing. So I feel like there's unfinished business here. There might be one thing that you're missing. I feel like the King of Swords comes in to close the loop. I hope this is making sense. It feels like the King of Swords comes in to teach you something that closes the loop, gives you the breakthrough, everything shifts. And all of a sudden you have clarity that what you offer everybody has value. You no longer have to carry around this whole, oh my God, I said that stuff. We've got the Five of Cups. We've got the Devil. And we've got the Knight of Cups. I think that you thought that you were going to be connected to this forever. This feeling of maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I should just keep my mouth shut. Maybe I just shouldn't say it. Like, why do I say the things that I say? Why do they fly out of my mouth like that? I don't think that you should do that. Honestly, I feel like the sun, what it's going to reveal to you is that you were wrong. I know you don't like to be wrong. I hate to be the one to tell you, but I think that you were wrong. I think that you sometimes have a bit of a tough delivery, but I also feel like you're the one that comes, like when you say what you say, people may not like it, Sag. Please listen to me. Come closer. You may say the things that you say and people may be pissed off. Like, I can't believe Sag just said that to me. Who the hell do they think they are? But I think you are here to bring truth and honesty in a bit of a harsh way, I would say, to people who just don't get it. Do you know what I mean? There are people who are still wandering around, bumping into things in the dark. Not everybody wakes up at the same time. And I feel like that you see yourself as somebody who maybe, I feel like you're feeling bad or you're feeling terrible about yourself, and maybe sometimes it makes you feel bad. But I really do feel that that's a delusion. I'm going to say you're delusional. I feel like you are somebody that offers really very much like a lot of value to people. Look, I feel like this person offers value to you, and now by them doing it to you, I feel like you realize that sometimes there are people, the only way that they're going to get out of the dark is by the King of Swords saying, look, what are you doing, you donut, right? Because that's how the King of Swords is gonna deliver it. Look, I think what's going to surprise you is people see you as this beautiful or handsome Queen of Wands, somebody who's bold and brave and has walked through the fire and has a lot of wisdom because they've walked through a lot of terrible stuff. So I feel like you're offering way more to people than you realize. And I feel like you're unsure sometimes as whether the things that come flying out your mouth are choice or not. I really do believe it is, honestly. I'm not saying go out there and offend everybody. I'm just saying, pull it back when you can, right? The Knight of Cups is soft and a little bit dreamy and is passive, right? I'm not saying be passive completely, but I'm also saying please relieve yourself of the burden of speaking too honestly to people, because I think that is your blessing to others. That sometimes there are people who don't realize that wandering around the dark and bumping into things and then swearing at the wall is really less productive than just saying it out loud and having someone fix the problem before it falls in on them. I hope that made sense. That seemed like a really weird reading, very specific. It seems very personal to somebody, but I think you're going to be very surprised at how much value you offer to people, and I think it's going to change or shift your whole perspective about yourself. I think this King of Swords is going to show up to mirror you, to tell you, look, no, I'm doing what I'm doing, and maybe I don't have a lot of friends, but I'm telling people exactly what they need to hear at the time they need to hear it, because you are the psychic one, my friend, and you know when they need to hear it. So look, I feel like you are coming, I feel what I'm supposed to tell you is this is what is going to push you forward. I feel like you are going to realize that what you're doing is not exactly the way you would like to do it, because you're trying to soften your delivery, is what I'm saying. I think that you don't need to be harsh or rude or mean, but I think that softening your delivery is not for you. You're here to be big and bold and make bold moves and be, a little bit of a weirdo like me. That's all. Look, yeah, it's time you charge in, because there's people who are counting on you. People who are burnt out, people who don't know what to do, people who are out there bumping into walls in the dark, and they need somebody to charge in and just blurt it out. Yeah, so they can see exactly what they need to see. It breaks through the illusion for them. All right, I could go on forever, but I'm going to go for now. Thank you so much for being here, Sag. I hope that made some sense to you. I'm going to go for now, and I'll be back because I'm always back. Thank you for all your views. Bye-bye.